Welcome to Adults Only Comedy Berlin. Today's episode was recorded at Podfest Berlin. However, the audio was again somehow not saved during the festival. However, this is still the springer at the start of the recording, just to say it was recorded live at Podfest Berlin, supported by Wonder Tax. Tax returns made easy. Recording wasn't made easy, but all good, all good. I've salvaged the recording from... Dan Stern's going to hate me for that. I've salvaged the recording from the video I took from my Google Pixel. So apologies for, again, subpar content quality. The content is exceptional, but the quality of the recording is poor. So guys, it's a very fun episode with Pat Moore. Hope you enjoy it. Welcome to Adults Only Comedy Berlin. Lovely to be recording live at Podfest Berlin 2023. Here today with my special guest, Pat Moore.
Woo! And I wanted to start today's... I've been on this podcast 3 times for the listeners or audience who might not know. This is my 4th?
I'm not sure if it's 4th.
It's the 3rd or the 4th episode. And I wanted to commemorate this moment with a special, just like start the episode with something special, adult themed. So I brought you a present,
really?
Which is me drawn tastefully nude on a sticker. So that's for you. Don't spend it all in one place. I just felt like that was something you needed in your life.
Slash some merch, guys. That's a little bit of promo for Pat Moore. Did you draw this?
My wife drew it.
I was gonna say, did your wife draw it?
Yeah.
I love the little Adidas socks as well.
Yeah. It's based on a real photo taken from my hotel room in Leipzig when we celebrated our marriage anniversary.
Oh, how romantic! It looks like it's like drug fueled and seedy, but that's such a wholesome story.
No, yeah, just enjoying the view from our hotel room.
Oh, that's really beautiful, dude. That's so romantic and sweet. And
if you guys want some, I could give them to you later. I have about 1,500.
Wow, 1,500. That's the right order. Although I don't know, for my the first stickers I ever got printed were for Derna Comedy. And I only got 500, and it felt like that took forever. And like they were all around Berlin, so like 1,500.
Yeah, I grossly overestimated how many 1,500 was. I was like, yeah, 1,500. I think like that'll last me for a few months. And then the box came like a giant delivery, and they're also way bigger than I thought. Like I expected them to be small, cute, dainty nudes.
It's a lot of Pat Moore.
But it's like a large, tasteful nude.
I like how you're like, people are going to want to stick this on their property. People are going to want to see my naked body.
See, that's actually my marketing strategy is I'm like, it's so heinous that they're like, we're going to have to put this somewhere not near our house, out in public. I got to get rid of this at like a train station or somewhere.
Yeah, right? Let's just get rid of it. Let's get rid of it. That's a great... No, it's beautiful. I need to make some stickers myself, actually. I need to do that again, but I'm like, I cringe at it. But this is beautiful that your wife drew a picture of you.
Yeah, I also have one of my dog pooping, and I have like
That's nice.
Yeah.
Because who doesn't want to see a dog pooping?
It's funny, I think. It's a cute...
How do you feel about poo humor? Because I'm not down with it. It's one of the few things where I'm like, I just don't want to hear
That's
about
your life?
Shit. That's my life! No, really, because my mum cracks, like, she'll talk about shit all the time. Like, and it's always when I'm on the phone with her, I'll be eating and she brings up the bowel movements of her dog or herself or her husband. And it's like, it's never okay for me.
See, my wife also felt the same way as you when we first started being together. And then my personal feeling about poop is like, that's like the final boss of emotional intimacy. You know what I mean? Like once you're willing to talk about the poops and the fart, then it's like, we are in this. You know what I mean? You can't be closer than sharing what's going on with your poops.
I don't know. I feel like that can just be between you and medical staff. You know, like I don't think that it needs to come into any relationship. It's you with you, maybe with your plumber, and medical professionals.
I don't know. I enjoy my wife's morning poop reports. You know, it's like, oh, okay, it was a little soft this morning.
No.
Extra wipes.
No.
It's good to know. I want to stay up to date with what's going on with her bowels and...
Really?
I mean, to me, it's funny. It's like,
But for real, she'll give you a little rundown on how her morning shit was.
well, we just like.
That's a yes. Oh my God. You're starting to feel ashamed, which is appropriate.
Okay, you've been peed on.
So
You're
what?
shaming me for my morning pee.
Pee is just like the water, and then it's gone through your body. Like that
This is
it.
secondhand poop. I'm just hearing about it afterwards.
It's the stuff that you cross the street to avoid. There's so many elements to poo, and it stinks. We say stinks like we don't want to. I don't want to talk about anything
Look,
that makes me feel sick.
Yeah, but I don't want to smell it. I don't want to see you doing it. However,
Oh, that's your line.
Yeah, I feel like that's appropriate. But I mean, a few details. We all poop. We all
Sure.
poop, and I feel like poop shame, and I feel like this should really be. I'm really scratching you where you itch here. But that's like the societal, like pooping is like slut shaming. You know what I mean? It's natural. We all do it.
Not denying it. Just you don't need to share it.
I think we should share it. I think we would live in a better, more wholesome, accepting and loving of our body society if we could just be like, yeah, we all poop. We all had a poop.
Both things can be true, okay? So, like, I'm very comfortable with looking at my shit. Like, I like German toilets because I get to see it. I do like to look and see what's going on because that's part of, like, knowing your health. And there was a huge campaign, actually, in the UK recently. And it was quite funny hearing it on the radio being like, have you looked at your poo today? Because that can be the way you save yourself from bowel cancer. And like, look at your poo. And like, this is on the radio, right? And this is British culture, so it's like very jarring.
Check out your poo, darling. Take a look at your poo.
After your morning cuppa, make sure you have a good geese at your morning poo. So yes, I think being comfortable with I'm not ashamed of my poo, and I'm not like
Did you poo this morning?
I love how me bringing up how I don't want to talk about it. I'm talking about it.
Is this how you expected to start your podcast? Is this what you guys were hoping for in the audience? Just like a full deep dive on the brown. And I do think that everybody wants to know, did you poo this morning? Did you have a morning poo? Are you a morning pooper? Are you like a wake up and poo right away? Or you poop midday? I'm kind of a midday. I need 3 or 4 coffees, and then at around 1:32, I have my big poo.
Now, I'm okay talking about it like this, but then going into the specificities of the poo, that's where I'm like, saying oh, I need to go poo, that's okay. Or I did a poo, okay. But going into the specifics of the mass. But
no, I think it's funny because sometimes your poo does the thing where it stands up out of the water, and it does a little, and then sometimes the poo does the hostage abduction thing where they're trying to hold on to the wall and being dragged away, There's a lot of funny different ways that the poos do in the toilet, and I think it's fun,
Yes, the variance is funny, or the variation, I should say, but yes, and in terms of routine.
What I want out of this podcast is that I am I feel like the hint of I'm about to change your mind. I'm on the scent of
Okay, so the thing is,
I want you to be pro poo at the end of this podcast.
Let's think about it. The thing is, I come from a history of pro poo.
Okay.
That's the thing. I come from a family that's very pro poo, very comfortable talking about poo, and I grew up like that, and that's okay. But I get to a point where I'm just I'm actually done with that. I don't actually want that in my. I don't enjoy the conversation about it, and that can be something that we just don't talk about.
I like that you're describing it like you were raised like Jehovah's Witness.
Yes!
You're like, look, that's their belief system. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yes!
But I personally can't.
I have left the church of poo.
The church of poo. The church of brown.
Brown.
And sometimes green.
And sometimes green and other things. But
so you haven't answered my question. Did you have a morning poo?
My routine changes depending on if I'm by myself, then usually after my morning coffee that will happen. Yes.
But if you have a man over, you have to force the poo to stay in your belly?
No, I don't force
See,
it.
that is poo shame, and this is what I'm talking about.
No, stop. No,
okay.
I don't poo shame myself.
We're just talking poo if you want to come in.
If you want to join,
you're welcome.
Very adult content.
Yeah.
But no, it's more like if a person's going to leave my house, then I will wait until they're gone, which will, a couple of hours, that's fine. And usually my body, it's just like it doesn't want to do that while someone's there. But if it does want to do it, I don't stop myself. No way. But yeah, usually the comedian lifestyle, it's like waking up, coffee, and by the time I actually eat, that's more like 2 p.m. So usually kind of afternoon, but technically it's morning.
Your morning, but technically, logistically afternoon.
Yeah. But I did notice a big change. Like I was vegetarian for 12 years, and there was a big change in my digestive tract when I became vegetarian, and then when I started eating meat again. And noticing that.
I noticed that if I have some meat. I think, here's the thing, now you've made me reflect on it, and what it was, I think why I'm so, like, pro open poo, and, like, anyways.
Poo positive.
I'm poo positive, free poo, and...
Free poo! That's your next sticker, I think.
Is that I had a lot of poop shame earlier in my life, and so, like, the pain of like forcing yourself not to when everything in your body is telling that you had to. And I had such bad poo shame that when I was in high school, if I had to go, I would leave and I would walk the 20 minutes back to my house. I would just say like, hey, I forgot an assignment or something.
That's typical with a lot of I don't know, I've heard from a lot of boys actually that they will just wait until they're back home to poo.
Well, I feel like in high school it makes sense because high school boys are animals, and so the bathrooms were just disgusting.
So are females. Well,
I can't weigh in on that part, but
yeah, females are animals too. I don't think men are worse.
But that was one of my big things to bring it back to the subject that we thought we were going to talk about on this podcast.
Oh yeah.
But that was one of my big things with having anxiety talking to like girls and stuff. Like one of my tricks to try to feel better is I just like, if I were like around like a beautiful woman who it made me nervous to talk to, I would just think to myself like, she has had violent diarrhea, and like, just like, it's because every human being has had it, and there's something like, it so humanizes.
Like, instead of imagining an audience naked, you imagine all of them shitting themselves.
Exactly.
Just little puddles of diarrhea.
It's a fart that's like, oh no, is that wet? Oh no.
Okay. So like shame, like I've even acted like when I moved into my current apartment, I'd lived in a share house for like almost 3 years, and within the first like month of living in my own place, I sharted like twice.
In your house, in your own house.
In my own house, but it was like, oh, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable enough to.
And that's when your house became a home.
Yes, exactly. That was the christening. Christening by poo.
Live, laugh, shart.
Now, like objectively, like this whole conversation, I don't find uncomfortable or disgusting. It's just more when people needlessly drop poo into the chat. Like that's when I think it's also because my brother would do it a lot. Like he would often be, and my mum does it too. Like in mid conversation, he'll be like, "Oh, turtle head." I'm like, I don't want to know that. Like telling me that and then he'd be like, "No, I'm just gonna wait and let it build up." And I'm like, I don't want to hear what's happening now.
You don't want the play-by-play.
I don't want the play-by-play. If it naturally belongs in the conversation because it's somehow relevant, cool. But like, don't give me little updates on your poo situation.
See, I agree with you. However, I do have a caveat, and that is in a club environment. I kind of...
In a club? Okay.
In a club environment, I don't know if you guys have clubbed, but like, I feel like you're there, and the things that you're taking usually fuck up your stomach, and you're gonna have to like, have a poo. And a club poo, there's nothing grosser than a club poo. Okay, for the people watching, oh my god, and we have the video. I just got a full spit take. That is absolutely fantastic. This is the highlight of my comedy career. But you guys witnessed it. I'm so happy that you're here. Oh my god, that is so wonderful.
Oh my god, I wet everything.
Yes,
I'm sorry
you wet everything. Perfect everything. Adults only comedy
that
podcast.
I don't know why, like, what you were saying was obviously going to come, but it just killed that. There's nothing worse than a club
There's nothing worse than a club poo.
Do you need that?
Oh, thank you. No, yeah, okay. Let's get a tissue.
One of our audience members has got a tissue here. That's wonderful. This is really, I don't know if this is what you expected, but here we are.
Thank you so much. But really, so I would avoid a club poo at all costs. Like, I don't think I've ever...
See, I have a thing where, the thing is, if you're going for like a full, 8 to 12 hour club extravaganza night, then it's like, you can't just hold it, And also there's a weird thing that I've noticed
nice tissues, by the way, thank you. Very soft.
Yeah.
High quality.
Okay, we got a rich tissue haver over here.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. That's bougie shit right there. You paid more than €1 for that package. So you're saying, for a proper clubbing session.
And I find that sometimes if I take a pill, if you're anti-drug, but sometimes if I take a pill, it won't hit until I poo.
So part of your high process is to take a poo and then you're like, ah!
Well, it's like you take it and then you feel like, it's not hitting. And then you're like, maybe I need to go to the bathroom. You go to the bathroom and then in there, it's all of a sudden like, oh my God, it's hitting. And your bowels excavate and then you head out and you can have your nice night. Now, I have one good poo story for you from the club that I feel like, I don't know if you want to drink some water for this, but...
I then have a different kind of club toilet experience. But yeah, tell us.
Okay, I feel like our stories might interlock here.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
So the awkward thing about a club poo is that everybody is in the bathrooms to do drugs. And then they feel like you're coming there, you're like, why the fuck are you... doing this disgusting act where we're trying to do drugs.
Yes, what are you doing shitting in the drug room?
Yeah, what are you doing shitting in the drug room, you filthy animal?
Small said that last night and it broke me. And I was like, oh my God. Yes, what are you thinking? What are you thinking taking a shit when we're literally inhaling things? The whole point of being in here is so that we can use our noses.
Also, in defense of club poopers everywhere, there are lots of places at most of these clubs to do drugs that are not in the bathroom.
Not in a lot of clubs, no, but yes.
In many clubs, yes. But but the thing is, I'm like, I have to do this, and I'm sorry, but you're doing drugs in the poo room. Technically, by the rules. And so one time, I was pretty high, and I had to do my business. I'm sorry. And I went in there.
They should be apologizing to me. I think they're fine.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. And I went in there and I started doing my business and sorry, but it was very stinky. And
okay. I say it's stinky. That's okay.
It was very stinky. And why it was so funny and sticks in my head is you could just hear it down the row of drug sniffers because you're just like, oh God. Or how did the Germans do the God? Oh God.
My God.
My God. My God. And then you could just hear people frantically four people trying to get out of and I just forced an evacuation.
You created
and you could just hear it going down the line like a wave crashing on a beach.
God, that's amazing.
And then of course when that happens, you have I was mortified. You know what I mean? And so I had to stay in there for a while to let I didn't want the people to be like, there's the guy that just gas bombed the entire bathroom. So
you've just taken the shit, so now you're super high.
And I'm just high in there.
What am I doing here? Did you at least hear the music from the toilet?
No.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's hilarious. I think that should be a drug policy. That's a good idea though. Next time I'm at a club and I want to do, I don't know. No, when I'm just annoyed at how long people have taken in the toilet cubicles, you just go in there and take a shit and just be like, now you have to get out. It's the natural turnover, change of shift.
I think really if the club should just have, instead of a men's room, women's room, it should just be a drug bathroom and a shit bathroom.
Absolutely. I love the cubicles that have no toilet in them. That's how it should be.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Yeah, those are my favorite cubicles for taking a shit. No. But my story, which I was kind of thinking about when you said there's nothing worse than a club poo, that I was quite high at Menschmeyer and I was having a good night. I was together. But I also was on my period, and it got to the point where I was like, fuck, I haven't changed my menstrual cup for like maybe like 10 hours. I was like, because I've like been doing shows and then gone out, and then it was like, 4 a.m, and I was quite high at this point.
And at this point, you might say your cup runneth over.
Yes. Oh, dude. So I have like hand sanitizer. Like these club toilets are filthy, man. And like they vaguely close at Menschmeier. And so they've got these like ropes, and so there I am in there.
And then you're doing the thing where you're like kind of holding it with your like
sort of, but I was a little bit like I was in the moment, right? Yeah. So like I was like, I'm fine, it's closed, and so I take it out and like fully naked basically, and I was just and it was.
And did you
my cup runneth over.
Did you try to take it over the toilet so that it would just like kind of naturally fall in the water, or how are you?
Oh, you still gotta you when you take it out, you can't sort of let it naturally, like you gotta hold it and then tip it out. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Is like if you're at a runneth over stage, are you at some?
Oh yeah, you want to be over the toilet, but for some reason I was like up against the door sort of area. Maybe I was trying to keep the door closed. And I pulled it out, and then it was like, and like pouring it in, and then I'm like, I'm needing to clean it, and it's all very complicated in a club situation. And then someone fucking opens the door, and like there I am with my butt exposed. Maybe I was also doing a club poo. I'm not sure. Like usually with blood comes other things, and it was a messy little moment. I was just like, oh god, someone just saw me. Like I felt like some like bestial witch, like with my blood and like just.
That's exactly what when you said that. I was like, it sounds like a Wiccan ceremony where you like, yes. Pour the blood in the cauldron.
Yes,
and
yes.
And in a Berlin bathroom, also in a Berlin club bathroom, I can imagine someone being like, so sorry for interrupting your ritual.
Oh, absolutely. Did you need a lighter? Like, incense. Like, please bring the sage. And I just remember being like, oh, that was like whatever they saw. I really hope my face wasn't part of it, because that was some next level, like, deep, earthy human.
What I love about both of our stories, and I love when this happens generally in life, is like, that person has told that story to like many people. Like, I was at a club bathroom at Menschmeier. I opened it up. There was a witch in there. She was spraying blood all over the bathroom. I don't know if she was drinking it herself or if she was sacrificing something, but it was wild. Berlin is crazy, man.
Right.
Like that lives.
Right. Yeah, like a toilet story of someone else. I was at another club and there was a line, and I was like, are we even waiting for someone? Someone opened the door and there's this woman standing on the toilet seat, squatting. So she's I've never actually seen someone do that before. Like in Australia, there's signs on all the toilets saying, do not stand on the toilet to squat. Because a lot of people that come
what kind of people, Anna?
People that come
a lot of so
a lot of Asian nationalities. You have squat toilets, and Australia has a lot of migrants, and so immigrants, and so there's signs on like pretty much every like government office building as well as like university building, and each toilet will be like, do not squat standing on the toilet seat. Anyway, we opened this door at the club, and this woman was like doing that, and like she looked up, and it was like she was just so exposed, and it was so intense, and it was also like, how are you like in her shoes? It was like, how are you even balancing on this? And then as she came out of the toilet, she's like, "You're a comedian." I was like, "Oh fuck!"
Love getting noticed. Love getting recognized by fan. You want a selfie or?
Right? I was like, that is fucking wild. But yeah, so
also I love that moment because it's very like the thing of like when you open the trash can and there's like a raccoon in there and they're like,
exactly. Like that was me in the toilet stall with my menstrual cup, like and then this woman she looked like a bear, like she looked like. It was very raccoon.
But I guess is the idea, like for that woman, the idea is that like there's basically no toilet seat and it's super gross, and so it's easier to squat on the toilet than over it, because also sometimes they're quite high. Like as a short king myself, you have to kind of like.
I don't know. I don't understand it, to be honest.
Okay.
None of it makes sense, because it's much easier to squat with your feet on the ground and still not touch the toilet.
Yeah.
She wasn't like that short.
Okay.
So like it's a normal toilet, like it's quite low.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been in that toilet cubicle many times. I know the
Yeah, you know the ins and outs, you know every flat surface.
Absolutely, all the graffiti. Okay, so I wanted to loop back around to the poo thing though. Like, why were you shamed so much?
About my poo?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh no.
This is so not where I thought this was going to go
Me
today.
neither. I did not expect you to do that, food.
And I'm like, I feel like we're going to do the full hour on poo now. I didn't expect it. We were going to talk about like awkward sex stories. But
We'll get there. We will get there. We will get there.
So I think that if the poo shame started because when I was a child, and I'm sorry, I would take just like crazy giant dumps.
Like crazy.
Crazy, big, thick, long dumps. And I have
like proportionate to your size, they were like shockingly large.
Yes. And even now, like I'm like, I feel like maybe my memory of them is that they're way bigger than what I do now. And
wow.
And I don't know if it's because my parents raised me vegetarian, but I also wouldn't eat vegetables. So I was basically only subsisting on quesadillas for the first 14 years of my life. But
so just carbohydrates and cheese.
Basically. And
that's not good.
Yeah. So the point is I broke a lot of toilets as a child. And I have a lot of like horrible memories of like, you know, like one specifically I remember we were staying at like a hostel hotel thing up in Northern California. And we were down in the game room and I had to go to the bathroom and I clogged the toilet so badly that it was like the water was like going all over onto the floor and I had to just like go out and I hadn't even wiped. And so I had to go out there to my parents and be like, I broke the toilet and I also have poop on my butt. And so they were, sweetly, they were like, we'll go talk to the hotel staff, go up to our room, clean yourself up. But like, that's for example, one of several stories from my childhood where I like fucked up toilets with my giant poops and so I think probably that's where the poop shame came from.
Yeah. I think there's a shadow of doubt there. That's exactly where the poop shame. Wow. And I was going to say, like, you said without wiping. I was like, surely you were just a kid that, like, overused the toilet paper. But no, it was without.
No.
Wow.
I think that probably the cheese and bread poops were just, like, there's a solidity to those that, like, yeah. Anyway.
Okay. No. And I wanted, whilst you were saying it, I wanted to make sure my face and expressions weren't transmitting any kind of shaming. But... That's really interesting.
How progressive of you.
I'm just saying, like, I don't want to make you feel ashamed at all, but that's quite. What about, like, your parents weren't like, Pat, you need to fucking eat vegetables, you're breaking toilets?
No, they never connected, or maybe they must have connected the dots, but, my diet with my parents, I think it was an ongoing battle for many years, and that at a certain age, I won. You know, like, they were just like, you're so hard-headed that it's not worth fighting you on this anymore, so we're just going to let you fuck up your body. And the funny thing is then later I came to vegetables. Like, I love vegetables now. I'm not a picky eater at all. Yeah. I love all sorts of veggies and different meals or whatever. But yeah, when I was a kid, I was super picky.
I think that's one of the most annoying things about children.
Like,
if someone's a picky eater, it's just like, grow the fuck up. Like, it's just, like, it's good for you. Like, why are you not? Like, that's what annoys me. One of my pet peeves is kids, like, people who are picky eaters generally, it's just like, I don't know why it makes me so annoyed.
Yeah. I'm still, like, I know what I want on a menu, and, like, when I don't, what I won't do is, like, you know, some people are like, yeah, like, I'm gonna order this, you order that, we'll each eat a little of ours, and I'm like, no, like, I know what I want on the menu, and that's what I want, and I don't want what you have, and I'll eat all of what I have.
Yeah.
So
we're not sharing.
Not sharing.
Does your wife isn't the kind of person that wants to share all the time?
She does want to share, but I'm like...
I was getting that vibe. You're disappointing her a lot. I want this.
Yeah.
Mine. Yours.
And then the annoying thing is she has this weird thing where she's like, she doesn't want us to order the same thing.
Yes.
So I'll pick something that she also thinks is the best option, but she doesn't want us to both get the same thing. So she'll get something that seems less good and then be disappointed throughout the meal and looking at my meal with, like, Bambi eyes, and I'm like, well, you should have gotten the thing. Like, advocate for yourself, you know?
Yeah. I've been there with partners. The ordering conundrum.
Yeah.
Okay, that's so interesting about the yeah. I don't have any shame around poo. I don't have any I think I've just been saturated by the conversation from my family, and as an adult, like also farting, right? Like in my 20s, I would fart in front of all my partners, and like I remember one partner and we actually ended up having a tally to see who had farted more.
That's a fun relationship. That is my kind of relationship. I love it. I'm imagining it's like a giant whiteboard, you know, there's like a bell, you know, you fart, you ring the bell. You're like, another one for Team Barrows.
No, it was just a scrappy piece of paper on the kitchen table, and it was like, I can't believe you did that here.
Yeah.
And also I started the tally because he was suggesting that he argued that I farted more than him, and I was like, no. No.
So, but you said in your 20s, so does that mean that you now hold the farts in?
I do not fart in front of partners anymore. Yeah. I will go to the bathroom. I'll go to another room. And same with my family. Actually, with my family, when I go back to Australia, I do, like, everyone's farting in front of me, so I'll be like,
fuck it.
But with partners, I don't want to smell their shit smell, and I don't want them to smell, I don't want to put that in their face, so I avoid it. I do little things to avoid it. Not to the point of discomfort. Maybe at the start of a relationship, it might get a little bit like, you know, when you've spent like 20 hours together and you're at their house, and like every time you go to the toilet, it's that classic thing of like every time you go to the toilet, like it won't come out, like you can't fart, and then you leave the bathroom and it's like, now it's ready. And then you go back and you're like, come on, and it just won't come out. But yeah, I just made this decision in my 30s, like I don't want to do that anymore. I want to change the culture, the farting culture.
No, I'm vehemently against your position. To be fair, my wife is on your team. She's like, you should go to the bathroom. She makes me go stand out on the balcony if I'm getting gassy. Which I'm willing, like if it's a consistent thing, I'll go out to the balcony and, you know, there is some discussion about how long I need to wait out there before I'm clear to come back in the house.
Because it'll follow you.
And I'm like, grow up. But
no, you're out there for a reason.
But I think I'm like, there's nothing worse than holding that in. And I'm like, this is me. I am a gassy man. That is who you married. I farted in front of you before we ever kissed. If you didn't like this, then
really?
You should have. That one was bad. Like, we were hanging out in these hammocks together. We met at a hostel in Costa Rica, and there this hammock area. And like at this point, it was just and we were like, and I'm a gassy person. My mother's gassy. It's just
we're all gassy.
We're pretty gassy. We're gassy family. We're a gassy family. The Moores are a gassy family.
Officially, you heard it here.
You heard it here. Check us out on fart.com and
morefart.com.
Morefart.com. It's actually OnlyFans. It's an OnlyFans page. It's just us farting. We have it all, you know, anyways. But we were hanging out in these hammocks, and I was pretty mortified, but like, you know, pretty funny, so I made a laugh. I got a laugh out of it, you know. Okay. I was like, who did that or something, you know, whatever.
One of the classics.
One of the classics.
Yeah. Was it smelly?
I don't know. We were in the jungle, so everything smelled at that point. But yeah, I mean, I personally feel like mine aren't that smelly. I have a lot more.
Your wife would disagree, I assume.
She would disagree, but she would say my problem is I'm more of a noisy farter. You know,
I think that's great though.
Like I don't have like the silent. Like if they're silent, then they're smelly usually. Yeah. But I toot like a horn. You know, and this again. I'm so sorry that this is what you guys have to listen to, but this is just where the conversation is going. One thing I learned about myself, I didn't realize my wife and I we lived in my parents' garage at the beginning of COVID, and there wasn't a bathroom out there, so we had to pee into like a jug, and I got her a shiwi. It was fine. And what I learned is that every morning when I do my morning pee, it's like a simultaneous, like I pee, like the night's urine and the night's gas leave me
At the same time.
At the same time, and I can't control it. It's
John Steinbeck wrote about it.
Did he really?
Yeah. In Cannery Row, he talks about how like the boys would wake up, like in the fields, and then they'd go to the river to pee, and they would all like fart as they pee.
Steinbeck, a classic author.
Really, and
one of the greats.
Fartlet is just very underrated. But yeah, okay. So I'm not sure if the female body works differently, but that doesn't happen for me.
The morning
the fart at the same time.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. But the hammock fart. So you just farted in front of her, and that was
farted in front of her, and then I mean during that initial courtship, obviously I was trying to manage it a little bit more, But as I said, it's like I can't
You're not going to suffer for it.
Well, I was suffering. That's the thing is like I have held in farts historically. And the thing is like I've suffered from it. And what I've learned is that after the third try for the fart, then it just comes out in like a weird, like kind of thing. And my belly starts making weird noises. And it's just like, it makes it worse versus we could just have a cute little, and be done with it.
Okay. I definitely have had lots of situations with like partners where I'll be like not farting, like holding it in and haven't been able to go to the bathroom to let it out, and then my stomach will be doing these. And like we'll be watching something. I'm like,
you're like, it's just my stomach. It's just
nice breakfast. I'm like, well, maybe I need to eat more. Maybe I'm hungry.
And meanwhile, your stomach is like, I want to fart. Have you ever farted during sex?
It was funny actually. Last night I queefed so loud. Loud, and to the point where like I took whatever was in my mouth out of my mouth, and I was like, "That was a queef, yeah." And he was like, "I don't care." I was like, "Okay, cool." But it was so like it was loud and long.
That's an interesting thing. I mean, I love when my wife farts in front of me because I'm like, that's
queefing and farting are very different things.
Well, that's what I was getting to. So. I just wanted to preface by saying I love when my wife farts in front of me. I think it's hilarious. It's fun. I support it. I'm like, yes, you did it. Yay. That's intimacy. I don't find farting hot. Like a queef can be kind of hot.
A queef can be kind of hot because it just means there's been so much activity and it's like
and it's just like it's your vagina like doing the stomach thing like that was a lot.
Like whoa. Exactly.
It's like a vagina like panting like a dog after it's been played.
That's exactly it. Oh my god. But hold on, I'm just thinking if I've ever farted during sex. I've definitely like been close to farting, but I don't think I know that partners have farted during sex. And then I start laughing and then like boner disappears.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So has your wife farted during sex?
No, never.
Okay.
I mean, she farts very, very rarely, so I have to really catch her on an off day for a fart. And
but you've farted during sex?
I've never farted during sex either. Yeah, that's actually funnily my one boundary. Is like I'm like that would be too much to fart during sex.
Why?
Because that's like we're really trying to be sexy. You know what I mean? Like if we're sitting on the couch watching a movie, it's like, okay, we're hanging.
Hanging out.
This is a friendship right now.
Yeah.
When we're fucking, that's a relationship.
So if she like pulled your dick out whilst you were watching the movie and you farted, that'd be like that's crossing the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
So we've established my boundaries.
Okay, that's your boundary. So farting not sexy, but very important for intimacy.
That's my position. I'm sticking to it.
Okay, nice. I'm trying to think of
free poo.
Free poo. Morefart.com. Morefart.com. Just trying to think of like embarrassing things during sex though, because that was a topic that we were going to talk about.
Well, you mentioned first. I feel like one of the reasons I wouldn't fart during sex is the potential that someone would laugh and then. Yeah. And I do have a long, storied history of losing my boners during sex in very embarrassing ways. I had the worst. Anna knows me well, so I feel like this isn't going to be shocking or like off-brand to her, but I really cannot get hard unless we're in love.
Aww, in love, like in love.
No, I mean, I'm being a bit hyperbolic, but I need
You gotta be really into the person.
I need to feel, I think what it is, and this is so lame, but like, I feel like I need to feel safe.
Oh, it's not lame.
It's pretty lame, Anna.
It's not lame.
It's not hot, you know? It's not like, ooh, let's go in the bathroom and like, you know?
I need to feel safe. Yeah, it's not hot. But it's, but like hot is often, you know, like kind of dangerous and not.
Yeah, exactly. I want to be dangerous.
You want to be dangerous for the penis. I mean, with a hard penis.
Yeah.
You want to be hard.
Yeah.
But like, I think that's the same, like you getting hard is the same for women coming. Like, we need to feel safe to come.
Yeah.
Or at least, I can't speak for every woman, but I definitely need to feel safe to come. Yeah. We've got an audience of 3 women, so yes, we all need to feel safe to come. So yes, like your first step is feeling safe, whereas now, like we could develop a sense of safety once after being penetrated, you know.
Yeah.
Theoretically, like, oh, okay, like he, I don't know, like yes, but so because you haven't felt safe, you've had difficulties getting hard.
Yeah, well, it's from the start. I remember the first time when I went to lose my virginity, I was drunk, and of course, because you know,
like
that's how you healthily lose it.
I may have lost my virginity drunk, but I didn't lose my virginity.
Oh boy, is this gonna take a dark turn?
There's claims that we didn't have sex, but like I was so wasted, he was wasted. I have no idea, but I officially lost my virginity sober. So
okay. Nice.
At the ripe age of 17.
Good, yes.
So the first time you tried to
first time I tried to lose my virginity, I got so in my head because I mean, I guess obviously it's a big deal for everybody, but like, you know, also like the man thing where you're like, oh, like, you know, you're like, it's a thing that you really want to be like done with, you know, it's embarrassing to be a virgin, you know, and so I'm like, holy shit, it's happening, and then it was not happening. And
what do you think was compromising your sense of safety? Just anxiety?
Yeah, I think what it was I was so like this was so much bigger than us just hooking up that like that and that's always a thing for me is like I'm so like, you know, the stereotype of like women having sex that it's like the only way that they can like, you know, get off is that it's like they have to be, you know, so like it has to be 15 degrees and then a fan pointed at my toes and nibble my ear 3 times. Like that is kind of me with like sex. Like I need like a lot of things met and criteria to like enjoy myself. And it's like, I'm very in my head. Yeah. And so if I get in my head during sex, then we're fucked. And when I say we're fucked, I mean we're not fucked. We're cuddling.
We're gonna chill.
We're gonna chill.
We're mates on the couch again.
Yeah, it's time to fart.
Exactly. It's funny. Like I have had partners that are like that. I've had lots of partners that are not, but like, yeah, I've had partners where it's really like they need like the boner can go not because of anything, but they're in their head, or if you know they're not feeling 100% physically well, like if you know maybe if they do need to fart or if they do have something brewing, you know, like then they can get distracted from sex. But yeah, there are a lot of dudes out there that it seems like they can fuck regardless of what's happening and come.
Yeah, and I'm jealous of those guys.
I'm jealous of those guys too. Like imagine being that capable of just just going at it. Like I can receive it, doesn't mean I'm gonna come. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I was one of those dudes for all of my 20s, and then like later mid 30s, I've been like, oh no, I only want to have sex with people that I respect.
That's healthy. I like that. Well, that's also I think a funny thing about sex is it's like I wish that there was a way as a man that you could be more passively like have sex and kind of not be into it. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean I guess maybe for some men they can't, but for me it's like if something is off or weird, like it's just not gonna happen. It's
over.
It's over.
At least like the penis part.
The penis part is over, and like especially when I was So, but you know, good side note, and I feel like this is so weird with three people here, but
three females,
three women that I won't make eye contact with. But the good thing about me and my floppy little penis is that I do love eating pussy, and so that was always my go-to. Is it's like, this is not a big deal. I'm gonna switcheroo. You know, we'll get the job done. Hopefully, you don't tell people about my sad little penis who's a good listener, and then we'll carry on. I have two other good not getting erection stories.
Oh yeah.
Which should I tell them chronologically, or which one do you want to hear first?
Most embarrassing.
Most embarrassing was, and I think we've talked about this semi-relationship I had before, but I met a girl at a music festival. We were like high on ecstasy, and then we started this weird relationship where we would like meet up at music festivals and like spend the whole weekend together, super high. It felt very like emotional and intimate, but you're like super high and fucked up, so it's like we never actually like hooked up. And then I decided to go visit her, and at that point I was like 24 and she was still in college. She was like 21, so I went and visited her in college, and she in hindsight was just like way too cool for me. Or I don't know, she was just like, it wasn't meant to be. Like the end of the relationship was, I thought that we had been dating, and then I found out that we hadn't been for the last 6 months. So don't be sad. Come on, it's funny.
It is funny, but it still hurt. Like when you find out that your perception of the situation is so off with someone else, that it hurts. It hurts.
Well, if you think that hurts, listen to this. So, so I show up, and we get there. Her and our other friend picked me up from the airport. We all like go back. We like, you know, smoke weed and listen to vinyl because we're super cool. And then her friend leaves, and then all of a sudden I realize it's like, and this is how innocent I am. I'm like, all of a sudden I'm there, and I'm like, oh shit, like I'm supposed to fuck you now. Like this is, I like bought the plane tickets, I packed my bag, and I just never did the math that like, oh yeah, and now I'm staying with you, and I meant like we've spent all these weekends together, and now it's
this is the opportunity. This is what it's all been building up for.
This is what it's all been building up to, and you know the builds not on my checklist of safety. So we start, and of course I can't do it, which is such a letdown. You know what I mean? Like we've been, you know, talking and, you know, cuddling and having all these amazing trippy high moments, and now I've like come to visit. And also there was, I think for me, I felt a little bit like I'm the older man, so I should be like cool, and then it's the weakest, least cool thing to not be able to get a boner. So that happened. Unfortunate. I'm embarrassed.
But it's a two-way street, right? Like there's also the communication. Like when you're that young, the communication is very clumsy, and you don't know yourselves very well. And so the thing is, in those situations where like a dude can't get a boner, like there's lots of things that can be done, and like just to remove the pressure and to talk about it in a way, and actually that moment can be a beautiful opportunity to build the intimacy and to create even more of a sense of safety.
Yes.
But
agreed. And as an older, like when I got older, it's like I realized that, you know, like, and this is, but like the first time that my wife and I hooked up, I was just like, I was already at the point in my life where I was like, by the way, when we hook up, it might, like, I might not be able to, like, you know, I'll go down on you for 17 days, you know, you'll come 7 times, it'll be great. But like, I might not fuck you. Like, that's me, that's my sad little dick, and it'll get to know you later. But because I did that primer, then it was fine, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But I was 24, so I was just kind of like tense, and then she was tense, and then we just got violently high off of weed tobacco bowls out of a bong. And here's the part that was embarrassing.
Okay.
We haven't even gotten to the embarrassing.
Not the weed tobacco balls?
No, that also, but this is the embarrassing part. The next day, we went to a party, like a house party, and there were some of her friends there that I had met at one of the festivals we had been to, and we all got drunk. And then at some point, one of her friends got drunk, super drunk, and then started being like, oh yeah, and like Pat can't get it up, and like you guys couldn't fuck, and like
No.
this is happening at the party in front of me.
Oh my god.
And then I definitely didn't get a boner for like 4 years after that. But that was probably the most embarrassing to like have that happen.
She went and told someone, and then that piece of
person
shit
told more people.
Oh my
and I mean, to
God.
be fair, I also like, I don't blame her at all, because I feel like if I were in her position, I would also want to tell, like, be like, I don't know what to do, you know, like, you came, it didn't work, like,
and when you're young, you have shitty friends.
And when you're young, you have shitty friends. And if I'm being very, like, looking back retrospectively and also with a little bit of ego, I think also maybe the friend who started popping off, I always got the vibe that she was kind of into me. And so I feel like maybe there was also something there.
Some kind of resentment that you're hanging out with.
So, shout out Samra, if you're out there listening.
Oh damn, that is so fucking mean, man.
Yeah.
Like talking about that to other people. That's such
that was like, it was like, it couldn't, that weekend could not have gone worse. And we kept trying, and we did eventually have sex.
Okay.
The next time I visited. But yeah.
She let you come back.
She let me come back. I think, anyway, at that point I think she was dating somebody else, but
whatever.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah.
That happens. Reminds me of so like I don't have necessarily hugely embarrassing. I can't like when you suggested like when we both talked about maybe embarrassing sexual moments, or like when you thought you were being an adult, and then I don't know, I can't really think of anything, but like you did just remind me of a guy that I used to see, and you've reminded me specifically.
All right, let's see where this is going. I hope it's complimentary.
It's not. No. But like I was super in love with this guy, and like from the moment I met him, and then we would hang out, and then it eventually became romantic, like making out, and then we would go back to his place finally, and he was like seeing someone else, but it was all and so the very first like the times that we had sex, it was all like just hands and like basically him going down on me, or basically just that. And I was very young. I was like 20, 21, 22. And then
did that put you off, or were you like, oh, this is hot, like this is cool, this is what he's into?
I was like, I think he's keeping me at a distance. I felt like he was not doing the full penis penetration stuff because there was like some kind of distancing, and I was very, very into him, and so maybe I was like, maybe he can sense that, so he's like making sure he doesn't get too connected to
He's
me.
like, I'll put my mouth, but like I'm not gonna go full.
And then it sort of continued on and off, and he ended up being this person that was like really toxic for me because I was just so into him, but like nothing ever eventuated. And then when we did finally like have sex, like when I finally, like I've never touched his penis for like maybe it had been like a year of us knowing each other. And
really?
We would hook up occasionally, and it would never involve his penis involved.
Fascinating.
And I found out when I did finally meet his penis that I think the reason was because it was very, very, very small.
Is this the micro-penis?
This is one of the micro-penises.
One of the micro-penises.
I've encountered a few micro-penises. I think only 2. Maybe 3 if you count that one as well.
To me, I'm older.
You've encountered.
Never happened to me.
It's never happened. Oh well, maybe you just haven't had as many. Might just be a maths thing. I don't know. I just more numbers. I'm not saying that you haven't fucked as many people as me, but
I am.
My standards.
Statistically, definitely Anna's fucked the most of anybody in this room. Probably if we put all of our numbers together, Anna's still doubled that. On every continent, I feel like Anna has sucked and fucked.
I've never had sex in the Americas, and I've never had sex. I haven't been to Africa. That's it, basically.
But it's on the to-do list.
It's on the to-do list, yeah. And I got hookups in different countries, I got places to visit. But yeah, 3 micro-penises. 3, which is so one
which statistically is wild.
Is it really wild?
I mean, I don't know how many. I feel like.
What are the stats on micropenises? Yeah. Like,
should I Google it?
Maybe we should Google it.
I'll
While I go through them. So the first one was this one,
Yeah.
and when I say a micropenis, I'm not a bitch, right? Like, and I don't shame it at all. It was just like, oh, that's why he hasn't won his penis involved at all, because he wants me to just be madly in love with him and never know his insecurity and maybe, yeah. So anyway, micropenis, by micropenis, I mean like, for the listeners, I would say like 3 centimeters long. Hard.
That's not 3 centimeters though.
1, 2, 3.
Right.
From the top of my finger to the top, like the insides of my fingers. That's 3 centimeters. Maybe it's 5
How
centimeters.
thick?
Yeah, it's
How
fine.
thick?
Oh, and the thickness is like that of like a pen.
A pen?
Like a pen, like a bit of a
Not even
bigger
a
pen.
pinky? Like, I'm imagining
Oh,
a
yeah,
pinky.
like a pinky,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like a
exactly.
pinky,
Like a
okay.
pinky. That's like a pen though, but like I mean like a thick pen.
A thick pen.
Like
alright.
like a Schaefer, like a fountain pen.
So,
But yeah, basically the size of my pinky. I could have just done that actually. The size, yeah, for the listeners, 3 centimeters, and like a circumference of maybe a centimeter around. You know.
So just to give you guys an idea of how many people Anna has slept with.
This might be the only true metric to gauge. I've stopped counting.
So,
Okay.
Anna has run across 3 micropenises, and it affects 0.6% of people worldwide, which statistically is approximately 1.5 in 10,000.
So I've slept with 20,000 people. Is that what
30,000 or no, 20,
1.5,
1.5. Yeah.
Look at my math.
Yeah, you're better at math. And fucking. Or maybe you're just kind of a magnet for it for some reason.
No, because there's been lots of like the stereotype around who has micropenises is not fair at all. So the first person with the micropenis was a very tall white Australian. I'm pretty sure like English, maybe Irish, Scottish heritage. Very tall, very like nice physique, you know. And then the next one was Korean, so that fits with unfortunately the stereotypes.
And did he also, when he went to the bathroom, did he, you know?
Oh, did he squat on my toilet? I don't know. I gave him privacy.
To call back to earlier, it's not racist. Anyways.
But he also like prematurely ejaculated like crazy.
Hot.
Yeah, so like he may have also given me chlamydia, but I assume that he doesn't get that much pussy. That wasn't him that gave me the chlamydia.
Well, I just want to say he's Ken enough, you know.
He's what?
Ken enough.
Ken enough?
You know, watch the Barbie movie?
Oh, Ken enough. Okay.
Yeah, all right. Anyways.
I did watch it, but that didn't stick with me at all.
That's like the
You're
big
Ken
meme.
enough.
He's like, I'm Ken enough.
I don't look at memes. That's the problem.
Oh, okay.
I'm meme ignorant. Yeah.
Educate yourself.
Yeah, I know. I'm Ken enough. Okay. And then the next micropenis was. This one was just a small. I don't think I'd call it a micro actually, and he was Turkish. But the thing is, like, I've had sex with a Japanese guy who had like a really solid, good penis. Had sex with other Turkish guys, like good penis. Like, micro penis is not bad when I say it's good, but I mean like solid, average, like the the index of average size.
I also like that we were like, let's talk about embarrassing sex stories, and you're like, so all these guys' tiny penises, those are my embarrassing sex stories. I'm like, hey, I couldn't get an erection. It came out at a house party. And you're like, dude, some of these guys, some of the 20,000 guys I fucked, not very big.
I also been with big men that are so big that it's been problematic. Like, there's also like penises that are so big.
Yeah, but have you ever done anything embarrassing?
Okay, so I mentioned that I queefed like this morning very loudly. So
and
that
we've also mentioned that that's hot. So
well, no, like he thought
dig
it
a
was
little
hot.
deeper, and
I was embarrassed though. I think the other sort of embarrassing sex thing is and it kind of ties it back around actually. It's to do with anal for sure. Like anal sex stories are that's embarrassing. Like that, I've had a couple of embarrassing moments there. They haven't necessarily been like one was sort of shaming. And then the
guy shaming you, or
yeah, specifically my ex-husband.
Okay.
But it wasn't like a big thing that happened. It was just like, oh, like you need to clean yourself up. And I'm like, we're having anal, motherfucker. Like, it's gonna
be messy.
It can be messy. Like, I've done the ritual to be as clean as possible. If I'm not clean right now, like, get the fuck over it. But he didn't like that, and so that was embarrassing. And so, sort of, going to the bathroom feeling like some kind of like filthy child that needs to clean up.
Yeah, well, that's also wild to me when people get upset. Like, it's like that it might get a little bit poopy when you have anal sex, because I'm like, I don't know, like, if you reach your hand into a like beehive, I'm gonna expect to get stung by a couple bees.
Exactly, or you're gonna find some honey.
Yeah, or you're gonna find some honey.
But and the thing is, I do the due diligence, there's a douche that one can use, and doing that, and putting the effort in. So like when it does happen to not be clean, it's like, give me don't make me feel bad about it, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't choose this. But then there's like some other times that have been like.
But that's also an interesting thing. So then, if you're gonna have anal sex, it can't be very spontaneous.
Well, it can be, and I've had lots of spontaneous anal sex. Yeah, that's been like perfectly clean.
Okay.
And I'm like, thank God.
Have you ever had like a full evacuation from it, or just a little bit of smudge on the dick kind of situation?
I never a full evacuation.
Okay.
No, thank fuck. But yeah, like this is a really gross story. I don't know. I'm not sure if I want to tell it. But like basically the dude was fine with it, but I was like, I'm not sure if you should be going there. And he went there, and then
with his dick, or
no, with his
mouth,
with it. No,
with his hand.
Yeah,
okay.
With his hand.
Oh, that's the least problematic.
It is, but I was like, I really like when we're talking about morning rituals. Like, it was right when I needed.
Yeah,
and I was like, and it was just like, oh, this is like, I'm uncomfortable. With this. Like, can we stop? But he was kind of into it, and I was like, this is.
Poo play? Is that a thing?
Yeah, poo play's a thing, and I'm like, this is not my thing. And yeah. So that was kind of like like getting brought into someone else's kink, because like it's fine, but it's like now I know that's an ick for me. Like there's no shame in poo, but I don't want to be trying to climax when there's poo around,
in or around.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like not solid amounts, but like noteworthy. Like you're aware of it. Like it's not like a little smudge. Like
under the fingernail, it's
or more than that.
Or more than that. And then they're grabbing your face to kiss you, and
I think the grossest way to describe it is basically, if you can smell something, I don't want to smell anything. That's so gross. But no shaming. It's just that I don't like that thing with farting not being sexy. I don't want substantial amounts of that content in my vicinity.
I think most people could agree with you about that.
But I reckon if you Googled scat sex, there's probably a crazy percentage of people who actually do like poo with sex.
I had something kind of like that when I was in college. Not really the same thing, but it was my college girlfriend, so we were like 19 or something, and she had her period, and so she didn't want to have sex because she was like, I'm on my period, whatever. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, let's just have sex, whatever. But we were drunk.
Yeah, team period sex.
Team period sex. I don't give a shit. If anything, it's better. But
I love period sex.
Yeah. I love when. Okay, that's too.
Go.
I love when it gets like just splattered all over the legs, and I'm like, it looks like a kind of.
I love the pain. The pain is great. It's like there's something, when you both got like blood on each other. It's something very cool about that.
In a club bathroom, and you're just doing a ceremony, and you're like,
and no one else is around because you took a shit right before.
But yeah, so we went to have sex.
And you're peeking,
and I was pretty drunk. We were both drunk, but I was pretty drunk. And so during the period when we were having sex, I forgot that she was on her period. Mm-hmm. And so afterwards, when I pulled out, there was like blood all over my dick. Mm-hmm. And my reaction was like, oh fuck. I cut my penis. I fucked up my penis. And so I was like, oh, what the fuck? And which is absolutely the worst thing you could say to a poor girl who you just convinced to have sex with you on your period, which she didn't want to. And then, and then it all clicked, and I was like, oh no, it's fine. I thought I hurt
myself.
But
it's just you.
That night was ruined, obviously.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Oh no! I
mean, because we also, it's like drunk 19. You know what I mean? It's like there's no like I did the worst possible thing. Yeah. She wasn't gonna not be like, fuck you, you know.
Yeah.
And it was that kind of relationship, you know?
Yeah. I think the only time I've actually been embarrassed about blood was I was with this guy who I'm pretty sure gave me chlamydia. He was the one that
How many guys gave you chlamydia?
Yeah. I don't count.
Yeah. After 10,000, you kind of lose track.
The question is, how many guys did I give chlamydia to? But yeah, we were having sex, and then I noticed that there was blood, and like a lot of blood, and he was like, "Oh shit! Like, are you on your period?" I was like, "No," and he was like, "Is it my dick?" And so we're looking at his dick. I'm looking at the blood, and it's like murder blood. Like it's like bright. Like there's nothing menstrual about it. It's like hemorrhaging kind of blood, and like huge amount. And so he's like, don't worry, just get up, have a shower, and he takes my duvet cover for non-Australians to the kitchen sink, and he's scrubbing it in the kitchen sink. I lived in a share house at this point. I'm like, I hope no one sees that he's scrubbing up
Jesus Christ,
my vagina blood in the kitchen sink. But he was a beautiful man. Like he was like, he was this fitness advisor, this Sicilian. Just ripped and just beautiful. But anyway, it was a nice sight. That
wasn't the only thing that was ripped.
Yeah, right? Well, it turns out that that's one of the signs of chlamydia. It can be that you bleed during sex. So that happened, and I Googled it, and I was like, fuck, either I'm pregnant, or I've got chlamydia, or I've had a miscarriage.
And you're like, please be chlamydia, please be chlamydia.
No, I was like, miscarriage. I don't want an STD. This was before I'd ever had an STD.
Okay.
And so then, went and got, I was like, have you been tested? I was going to say his name, Marco. And,
shout out Marco if you're listening.
I've liked a few Marcos, so it's okay. I've actually got a Marco ban. I don't have sex with anyone called Marco because of the number of Marcos I've been with.
Okay.
And it's always bad news. But this one was a good Marco. But he was the one that gave me chlamydia. Anyway, so I was like, have you been tested? And he was like, yeah, I did all the tests. And then I went and got tested, and the next week we catch up. I'm like, so I've got chlamydia. He's like, what's chlamydia? Like, he had no idea. I'm like, you haven't been tested?
He's like, yeah, no, like, I graduated high school, I took tests. You know?
I was like, he really was like, what's chlamydia? I was like, you have not been tested, you piece of shit. Yeah. And, but that level of blood, that was the first time I was like, oh.
That's a super disturbing way to find out that you have an STD.
Yeah, it was really like, and it was like, obviously with Google, it was like, pregnancy, miscarriage, chlamydia, cancer.
Oh,
it's like, okay.
And that's how the spiral starts.
Exactly. But I think we need to wrap up.
Okay.
So, any last comments or anything you wanted to say before we wrap up?
Well, I never got to tell you the story about me losing my boner the only time I got invited to have sex in a car. But we'll just tease that for the next time.
Okay, yeah. We'll let that one ride off. I'm sorry. Do we have any? Actually, let's open up to the audience as well. Do you guys have any questions or any comments or anything you wanna say? Because we're recording live at Podfest at Noisy Rooms.
Podfest with a sold out packed house. Oh my God, the audience is going wild.
Play the laugh track. So yeah, do you guys have anything you want to say or ask or anything?
When you ask for a question that the woman no one asked a question, because during your talk we were like, for me at least, I wanted to come and say, and I know, I agree, or I'm so poor agree. Yeah. I don't know what to say now, but it was really interesting.
Oh, awesome!
I just want to ask. So, are you on my side about the farts or her side?
Your side.
Yeah!
I don't know, we're going to survey the whole audience then, all of them. So what do you guys think? Fart in front of your partner or not fart in front of your partner? Cece?
Fart in front of your partner.
Fart in front?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, what about...
Thank God I have no partner since 3 months, so I think it's good.
You think it's...
fart a lot.
You fart a lot?
He farted a
lot.
lot.
He farted a lot. Okay, so you like it?
No.
Okay, so you've only been single for 3 months. Okay, so but you...
But we are pretty old.
Okay.
That's the fact.
So once you get, give me another bit of time, and I'll be like just dropping
Yeah.
my guts everywhere.
You know what? Talking about poo or
Mm-hmm.
about sex during period. It was funny. When I was young. Now I'm menopause. So,
Yeah.
Menopausal
sex.
Yeah, menopausal sex is something different.
Yeah, right. I understand it. You need
It's incredible different.
very different, right? Like you need my mum and other people not to target my mum.
I've heard from people.
She tells me that coconut oil can also be used internally.
Yeah.
And that there is a lot of moisturizing. Like that's the one thing I get a little bit self-conscious about with my partners, because I do tend to fuck a lot of younger men. They come to me. I'm not seeking them out. They really do come to me. I get a little bit self-conscious.
Same here, Is that a defense we can use? Okay. They came to me, I just go on stage and say, I like young men and I fucking suck a lot. And then they come to me. Like, I didn't do anything.
Funny. They don't come to me in audiences. Actually, people from my audiences are usually age appropriate, which is nice. But it's people on apps or people on... even when I change, my age range, the guy that my person now... is well below my age range, and he pinged me on an app, and I was like, how did you even get through? And I was like, fuck, I hadn't quite adjusted, or I don't know why, but sometimes the app lets people that are outside of your range ping you, and
because they knew it was meant to be. It worked out.
It fucking worked out, right?
The algorithm had it right.
Yeah, which is crazy. So they come to me, is what I'm saying. But I get self-conscious being 36 now. I'm like, I do feel like I am a moist human, but I get self-conscious that I'm not as moist as I was in my 20s. Yeah. And so it's just more of that thing of it's still fine, but I get fucking wet ass pussy. It definitely. So yeah. Anyway,
I'm 21 years older than you.
Okay.
So everything changed. Even poo changed.
Even poo changed in
of
menopause.
course, you don't poo anymore. You don't poo anymore.
The period ends and the poo ends. It's
you
wild.
Drink tons of coffee.
Yeah.
And it's so over, and you never poo.
Never poo. That's crazy.
But can I just say something about the wet ass pussy for a minute? As the man in the room, I'd like to comment, because I feel like this is something I've heard other women say before, sometimes I get self-conscious, I'm not wet enough. And I have to say, I've never met a guy, and I've never met a vagina where I was like, this vagina is just too dry, it's just it's a vagina, it's great. And if a girl is like, hey, I want to use lube, you're like, fucking even better. It's all there's not, I don't know, that's not a big, men aren't hanging out fucking these bitches with their dry ass pussies,
I hope not, but I guess our greatest fear is that in their head they're like, I ordered medium rare, this is well done.
But it's not that dry. Okay, it's a little bit dry.
Yeah, it's not dripping, but not
anxiety more than I have,
Yeah, no, I know. It's more, I think, other sort of older relatives being like, it's like a desert down there. But I've always had I've had lube around since my mid-20s, so it's I don't think I've gotten drier. It's just yeah, right. All right, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
I think a little bit of a spit won't fix. All right, let's wrap this shit up then. So plug yourself, Pat.
I'm Patrick, Free the Poo. Pat More Comedy. So follow me online, please. If you're listening and you live in Berlin, I run a show every Friday in Prenzlauer Berg called Friday Funnies. I also run a storytelling show twice a month in Mitte.
You should do that one.
You should please do it. I think I asked you a few times and you were busy.
Sorry.
But big comedian over here. I'm also technically out on the road in Europe this fall with my solo show Mama's Boy, all about having lesbian moms. So follow me online, hear about all that shit, come to a show. Anna?
Yeah. So keep your thoughts to yourselves. Also, the other thing you just a slight deviation is just at green rooms, at comedy events, at outdoor, at events outside in the public. Do not fart on a dance floor. Do not fart in a green room. Do not fart when you're passing through a corridor in a busy restaurant. Just don't do that shit. That annoys me.
I'm with you on the green room. I'm with you in the corridor.
Dance floor. No fighting on the dance
Dance floor.
Don't fight on the dance floor.
Where are you supposed to? First of all, who's smelling it over all the cigarette smoke?
They don't smoke.
And
you're not smoking in clubs anymore.
who's not smoking in clubs
And
anymore?
even a bad fight you can smell through cigarette smoke.
Well, I'm just saying the smell of BO and coke in my nose and cigarettes. You're not smelling a fart.
You do look like a dance floor fighter. It's not a bad name for a special.
And an elevator.
An elevator. Oh
yeah.
That's just fucking. That is sadism when people do that. They're trying to hurt you. Oh, all right. That's my piece on farts. Poo, do what you want, but like just leave. Don't tell me about it. And I'm doing my solo show, my work in progress solo show coming this Friday, actually, the 20th of October at Mashlimska. It's just 1 hour, 8 till 9. My new special is called Cream Pie Clarity. So the sequel to Cream Pie Curious is Cream Pie Clarity. So a lot more about sort of self-realization and ambitions for parenthood and being a woman, being a filthy bitch. So
one cream pie at a time.
One cream pie. It's been so long since I've had a cream pie.
And it's a super cool venue, and Anna's a super funny comedian. You guys should all go to the show.
Yes, come by. And then there's also my other shows, which you probably know about already, but Pimp My Jokes every Monday, Backdoor Comedy every Tuesday, and After Party Comedy on Sundays. AF Barros on Instagram, Adults Only Comedy Berlin, everywhere else. My website's up, annabarros.com. Guys, that's been Adults Only Comedy Berlin for Podfest at Noisy Rooms 2023. Let's high five. Woo! Oh yeah, thank you so much and goodbye.
Bye.
Woo!